I'm Beth Ann.
What's up? I'm Ayla.
This is Let's Talk BL, a boys love podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast. It is Sunday, Series Sunday, that day of the week where we talk all things one series and one series only, chock full of spoilers. So if you have not seen this series, number one, I don't believe you. However, I was that person.
You were.
Until 2 days ago.
And I have been screaming at your face, I want you to watch this show for I don't know how long, because we've had a journey with this show.
Let me explain myself.
Let's talk about our journey, and then you can explain why you are the way you are.
I mean, well, no, I feel like my journey is part of, like, me explaining myself is the journey.
Okay.
This trailer came out, and I was so excited.
We were both so excited.
Yes, we were both, like, I don't remember being so excited for an upcoming BL, like, ever in my entire
from the
BL
original
journey.
trailer to the trailer,
yes,
everything.
I was so excited. Literally, I was such a fan of Nunu. I had him on, like, his covers on repeat all the time, like, obsessed.
Yes.
And then the show came out, and I knew I was gonna binge it. Yeah. I knew, because I'm a binger. I do not keep that a secret.
Right.
I knew I was gonna binge it, and so I waited, and then people started talking about this show.
This is like that show. The Secret Crush on You. Thank you.
Yeah. So what happened is, and this is one of the downfalls of binging it, unless you're just gonna hold true and not be swayed, which I'm susceptible to peer pressure, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody started talking about how terrible this plot was, how bad the storyline was, blah, 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 all this stuff, and that they're just holding on for the spicy scenes. Mm-hmm. I make it no secret that, like, the spicy scenes aren't what drive me to watch a BL. Right. I like them if they make sense in the plot, but, like, if that's the only reason I'm watching, for me, it's not a good enough reason to watch.
Right.
And so when everyone started saying, this show really went off the rails, it's not very good, the only reason I'm watching is for the spicy scenes, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna watch it. And then I started seeing the fan wars and the drama that was unfolding within the fandom, and I was like, ooh, I really I don't want to be a part of fan drama. Like, I don't want to be involved in that. And so it even more so just, like, put it off. And then all of my peer pressure to try and get a bad roommate series Sunday is not working. Although I feel like I'm owed one, because I did this for you and I did what Zabman for you. Okay. It worked out for me, but I'm not saying it didn't work out for me.
In the end, what Zabman was like, you're welcome.
I'm not saying it didn't work out for me. I'm just saying I did it for you. And so I feel like I'm owed bad roommate at this point.
I did it for you.
I feel like I'm owed bad roommate at this point, but whatever. So I realized, so we needed a series Sunday for this weekend.
Yes.
And I realized the bad roommate ship that I was sailing was just not making it across the ocean fast enough.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? Cutie Pie.
Right, the special episode
I was
just
like, if
came out.
I give you Cutie Pie, maybe you'll give me bad
roommate. Is that
roommate.
why you did this?
Yes. It all comes back to Gad. And then I watched the show, and now no one is more surprised than me, but I have so many thoughts.
I can't wait, because I have so many thoughts as well. I did a reaction with Robbie about this show. I was one of the ones who was like, I'm holding on to this show because I like watching Z Nunu act, and I love Tudor Yim, and I loved MaxNat before I watched this show.
I have thoughts about that statement you just made.
And so there's so much to this show that it can be talked about and picked apart. And I think this is the thing, and this is what we should talk about before we talk about any of the show, is that so many fans feel the need to defend actors based on a character they're playing. I'm like, you can say that a character is shitty and still love these actors.
And still respect them and respect the job that they did.
I love Z Nunu. I think they did a superb job acting these characters, which is why I hate these characters so much. That's exactly why.
I will say I don't hate the characters plural. I hate the characters singular.
True.
But we'll get into that.
I had my moments with some of them. Okay, so let's start. We're talking Cutie Pie. We got the t-shirts. This is how excited we were.
We were like, oh my God, merch. Oh my God, a series shirt. Like, we like freaked out.
Yes. So anyways, it's from Doomundi. The company that brought us Why Are You? That was the show, basically the show before this. They hadn't done anything else. And so that's why, like, Cutie Pie was a turning point for Doomundi. It's pretty insane how, like, the journey
the
that
explosion.
We should do a whole Doomundi episode, like research Doomundi.
Ooh, that would be fun to do, like company episodes, right? Like Doomundi, GMMTV, Star Hunter, Idol Factory, because Idol Factory is a very interesting story too.
Yeah,
anyways,
true. This is 12 episodes. There's now 4 eps of a special episode. It's on YouTube as well as Viki. It stars Nunu as Nu Kuea, Z as Lian, or Hia.
Oh my god, we'll get into that too.
Nat as Khondiao, and Max as Yi.
Yes. Okay, synopsis time.
You're gonna find the synopsis very interesting.
Oh god, I'm gonna have to pronounce his, because I'm just glancing at this and
yes.
Anyways, I'm gonna pronounce his name in like the 3 different ways because his name is all over the stupid. Okay. Lian Kilin Wang and Kuea Kirin Kirati are in a quandary. Because of a promise made to their parents and grandparents, they find themselves heading toward an arranged marriage. The latter is a free-spirited musician, a vocalist and drummer, while the former is an outwardly cool businessman. While Kuea is keen to explore a happy and romantic life together with Lian, the feeling isn't mutual, at least not initially. Lian is cold to Kuea and treats him dismissively. Eventually, he indicates that he has no intention of entering into an arranged marriage and wants to break off their engagement. Kuea is reluctant but sadly agrees. However, soon after they have officially split, Lian starts to have feelings for Kuea. Wait, I have beef with this. It's wrong.
I know.
It's incorrect. No, it's wrong. No. Kuea breaks off the arrangement.
Right.
Kuea isn't reluctant about breaking off the engagement. His whole thing is like, nah, bro, I'm not going to marry you. Like, if you don't love me, I will not marry you. Like, he's very... That's the whole plot. The whole plot of the show is that he's broken off the engagement.
I know.
I have beef with the synopsis.
Lian never wanted to be unengaged.
Right.
That makes no sense.
As soon as Kuea was like, we're not engaged anymore, Lian was like, at first he was like, well, we have to be engaged because I respect your grandpa. Yeah. And then he was like, actually, we have to be engaged because I love you. And then we enter into his, truly his mind Cirque du Soleil.
Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that when we went into this is the very first that I can remember, and, prove me wrong. This is the first kind of fairy tale BL that we get where there's no acknowledgement so much of like how there's not really any, there is a little bit from the friends initially at the college orientation where they're like, you're engaged to him, like you were arranged marriage to a man, but there wasn't really any type of like weirdness or conversation about an arranged marriage between 2 guys.
Yes, there is. In the club scene when Boone and Prem make their appearance, literally like basically that whole scene is them talking, is the 6 of them talking about how like gay marriage is not legal and it's not real and all this stuff. Like there's actually, I found a lot of discussion about gay marriage should have all the same rights. Like
they do.
They also have the conversation in the bathtub, Lian and
No, I'm not talking about marriage equality and like rights between gay men. I'm talking about the fact that like the family, even specifically, or just like anybody else being like, why are 2 men arranged to be married? Like there, like yes, there's a lot of conversation about like it, like
how it's
being
not
gay
illegal.
And like all that kind of stuff, but like the arranged marriage of it all like was never discussed. It was like,
I don't see arranged,
just a thing.
I don't see arranged marriage as like a fairy tale thing. Like it's very common actually. Like it's
right
super,
in
super
real life,
common.
but within a story, I feel like in a modern Namaste story, right? Because arranged marriage isn't a thing in Thailand.
Yeah, it absolutely arranged marriage is absolutely still a thing in America even.
Interesting.
Yes, arranged marriage
within
is
like
absolutely still a practice
circles
in basically every country in the world. It's very, very common. Yeah. Like this is a real modern day thing that really happens. Like in fact, we hear a lot about it in Japan specifically. There are a lot of like marriages that are arranged to join business families together. Like it's a very common like business practice. And the same thing in Korea. There are a few K-dramas about that actually, where they're like business like chaebol yeah,
I've watched a few of those.
So yeah, I feel like it's I in fact, because of that, I was like, this isn't new, this isn't groundbreaking, this is a K-drama.
Right.
I was like, that's what this is.
Yeah, when we saw that first trailer, I think I remember you saying that. Like, this is just a K-drama.
I would say this is probably the most K-drama Thai BL I've ever seen. It is K-drama to its core. Like, it is so K-drama, it's crazy.
Except there was no childhood trauma for the main couple.
Right. But there was well, there kind of was.
Kind of? Not
Lian
really.
Lian has a form of trauma. All trauma is valid, Bethan.
It's true. Lord of mercy. Okay, so let's talk Lian and Kuea. Lord of mercy.
Okay.
These two, we hate Lian. Like, that's universal.
I hate
He's
Lian.
the worst. Here's what I will say. I do love Spice as much as the next person who loves Spice. But in this situation, I do not love, just like I don't like kind of what we talked about with I Promised You the Moon. I did not like the Spice in that show because it makes you feel gross. It makes no sense. It's not romantic. There's nothing about these two characters hooking up that you're like, yeah, do the thing. It's like, no. You need to stop and have a conversation. You need to stop and communicate with each other. That, like, in Cutie Pie, they're like, Kuea is literally being like, explain yourself to me. And Lian's like, no, I'm just going to make out with you real hard.
This is fascinating to me because we could not have switched harder. I don't understand what happened.
I come at this from the kitchen scene, the first kiss, right? Because Kuea is crying and he's like, I'm trying, you yelled at me, you don't love me. And Lian's like, let me just kiss you and make it better.
No,
it makes no sense.
Okay, listen,
so
I hate Lian. I do. I, in fact, said from the beginning, like, as soon as he started playing his weird mind games, I was like, this guy is every single red flag wrapped up in one body.
There's
like, Lian is...
He probably will murder you.
Lian is a walking 25 whole course red flag.
Yeah.
Truly, all wrapped up in a very pretty face.
Yes.
Still a red flag though.
Yeah.
Like, this man is the worst kind of man. He is terrible. He is the reason that some men have to be like, not all men. Like, he truly is terrible. That being said, I liked the way they did the Spice in this show. I know.
What?
I know.
It's literally every time they initiate Spice, it's because Kuea is like, I don't understand why you don't love me.
Hear me out.
And Lian's like, let me tongue you to prove it. That doesn't prove anything.
That's why it makes sense, because it's true to Lian as a character.
I mean, he's shitty, yes. It's totally true.
It works for the story.
Because he doesn't know how to use his big boy words.
Yes. It works for the story. It works for the characters. Like, the Spice in this show makes sense.
It's so annoying.
I know, color me shocked.
I'm not saying that the Spice doesn't make sense. I think more so I'm saying, like, I don't enjoy the Spice as I would, like, I enjoyed the Spice in Love in the Air, because for those characters, like, they were using the Spice in a way to communicate what they had already communicated verbally.
So I think the reason it doesn't make me feel like gross like it did in I Promised You the Moon, like in I Promised You the Moon, it made me feel gross. Like, even thinking about it makes me feel gross.
Totally.
The reason for that, though, is because in that situation, one person was not actually consenting to what he was entering into.
You did say the thing about consent. You were like, oh, there's like
There's
multiple
explicit consent. And we know the reason it didn't make me feel gross is I feel like both characters were getting what they wanted out of it.
Right.
So like Lian got to play his crazy little mind games and be insane and just be generally psychotic. And Kuea got to have this like physical affection that we know he's been wanting and craving, and like he does love this person and this person does love him, but like
he loves him the most.
He's sued. Both parties are consenting, both parties are expressing explicit consent, and both parties are getting something out of it.
Here's my argument is that Kuea can't consent because he doesn't know what he's consenting to.
I think he does.
Because we see this a lot of times in just like normal everyday life, is that like you enter into a situation with a person and you're like, I like this person, I consent to this intimacy, and then afterwards you realize like that person was shitty and they're not actually like, they didn't feel the same way you did, and then you come away from it being like, oh, I don't like that.
But that's not what's happening with Kuea, in my opinion.
Right, because he's never told.
No. Because Kuea broke off the engagement. Kuea's like, you're a bad person. You're a mean person. He constantly is going through this whole thing,
and
being
then
like,
he's getting gaslit,
being like, you're not in love with me. So Kuea knows this person isn't in love with him, and he still wants to hook up with him. You don't have to be in love to hook up. Sorry, but you don't. And it's okay to like get pleasure from hooking up and not be in love with that person and have there be like no real love there. And so if Kuea is entering into it being like, well, I want this thing and he doesn't love me, and like the whole he doesn't love me gives me pain, but I still want to hook up with him because I think he's hot because it's Z.
It's true.
Then like, sure, like you get yours, Kuea. You get yours.
I guess that's true. Because I will say Kuea has the upper hand at the end where he's like, no, I won't. Like that scene where he's like, I will not be engaged to you. I was like celebrating. I was like, thank God.
He finds his voice. And what I like about this show specifically is he finds his voice very early on. Like so we start out and we see how it's set up that like
he finds his voice early on with himself, but not with Lian.
Yes, with Lian, because he breaks off that engagement.
Yes and no.
He breaks off that. No, he does break off the engagement, and then he continues to sort of hide himself from Lian.
But yeah, that's more what I'm talking about.
But he stands up for himself and what he wants the whole time. Like he constantly is very much like, he doesn't want to be engaged anymore because this person doesn't love him. He's out and he's going to say he's out. He wants to go perform as Kieran. Even if he has to hide it, he's going to go do it. He's not going to stop doing it. He's not going to stop being who he is. He's just not sharing that part of him with Lian because he doesn't trust him.
Rightfully so.
Everything that he wants, he does. Like he very much, I think, stays true to himself and keeps his voice, even if he doesn't trust Lian with all of that.
Right. Yeah. And I rewatched this because I remember watching it the first time I watched it week to week, and I was like, I wanted to give Lian the benefit of the doubt and be like, maybe he's doing it for this reason. And like, I was trying to justify some things. And then upon rewatch this last time, I was like, I remember having this justification of like, oh, well, maybe he's protecting Kuea, and maybe he's like, I want him to be a boy, right? Like there's potentially like 5 to 7 years difference between them.
Yeah, I think I had tried to research it a little bit because it's never explicitly stated in the show, and most people accept 7 years.
Okay,
that's what I have seen. Is most people when they talk about these two characters, it's 7 years.
Right.
I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know if that comes from the novel,
which means there's no like kind of life experience overlap until you're an adult, right? Like we kind of talk about the idea that like what is an appropriate age difference when you hit, I'd say 25, it all becomes blurry because 25 to 35, it like there's not much life experience difference between the like after 25 and someone older, unless you're like 55 and 25.
Well, and for me personally, like when I turned 25, that was the only birthday, at least in my short life so far, that I like woke up that day and I felt different. Like I legitimately,
you could rent a car.
I remember waking up on my 25th birthday and like feeling I felt grown up. Like on my 25th birthday, I felt grown up.
Why?
I don't know. I just felt
That's
different.
so interesting.
I just woke up and I felt different.
Right, because by that time, like, you've already graduated college. You were already married.
I was getting a master's.
Yeah. You had a job. Like, there's all the checklists.
I owned a home.
Yeah. Literally the only thing you, like, that's different at 25 is you can rent a car. Without all the extra insurance.
But I think it was like all my life experience just like hit me. Yeah. I don't know. Like I woke up and I was like,
you were heading into your late 20s.
I can do life. That is true. I used to always make the joke like being on the wrong side of 25.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, well, here's the last year before I'm on the wrong side of 25.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
Whereas I was so excited to get out of my 20s. I was like, man, because the people in their 20s from 20 to 29, it's such a different, like, at 20 you're still 19, like you're still a teenager,
right?
And you're still in college, or you're still living with your parents, or you're not financially independent for the most part. Well, like a majority of people.
I wouldn't even say a majority of people, because I think that a lot of people don't go to college, like based on the field I work in. Like I know that that's true.
Yeah.
And a lot of people leave their home at 18. Right. A lot of people have a job. A lot of people have an apartment. A lot of people have a partner. Like, so I don't know that I would say like a majority of people at 20 are still in college or living at home.
I would say the people that I interacted with and the people that I kind of have perspective of, at 20, you're basically still a teenager. And then like kind of all the college years. But so everyone, you're still trying. I was still trying to figure out who I was in my 20s.
Yeah, I would say I think that's probably universal, because so like, for example, I'm the only one of my siblings that graduated college, that finished college. My older sister did 1 year of college, but that was it. And none of my other siblings did college. And so, yeah, all my siblings were out of the house at 18. They all had jobs at 18. They all weren't going to school at 18. They all, in some cases, had like serious relationships.
Yeah.
And so, like, they did have very specific life experience by the time they were 19, 20. But there was still this, like,
who am I?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's why when I like hit my 30s, I was like, yes, I know who I am. I know what I want. Like, I am okay with this. My 20s at least was a mess. And so, and because I like had so many different life experiences, because I did leave home, I went to college, I like moved to a different state. Like I did all these different things. I moved to another state even after that. And so, yeah, your 20s is just crazy.
So, but what I will say about in terms of like Lian and Kuea is I didn't have as much of a problem with this age difference as like I usually do with big age differences like that, because of the age that Kuea is at when it turns romantic. Because all the way up until now, it's been sort of like just a thing that they know is going to happen, but it's not romantic. It's not physical. It's not. Now, the problem that I have with it is not the age difference. The problem that I have with it is Lian's behavior in general, just like how he exists as a person in the world.
Yeah, because, all that to say, I was like, why did we get into that deep dive? It was because I was like, oh, maybe Lian's protecting him. He wants Kuea to live.
No, he absolutely doesn't want that.
Like a childhood or a college life. Sure. And so that's where what I first thought. And then at some point I was like, no, he like, because when he starts to get physically intimate, I was like, yeah, this man just like is bored. I don't know,
playing games with him, and he's like,
he's not communicating.
Loves him, but is angry with him, but is in all of the things that he's mad at Kuea about. And maybe this is a difference between week to week and binging. Yeah. Because I binged this show, I never made one single excuse for Lian. Never. And I think it's because I saw all of his actions back to back. Like, I literally, the first day I started watching this, made it all the way through episode 10.
Yeah.
So, like, I watched the majority of this show in one day.
Yeah.
So, like, I saw all of his actions back to back, and I think it helped me to see, versus if you're doing it week to week and you have that break, you're like thinking about it and you're like, oh, well, maybe this, maybe that, versus when you binge it, I saw it like all as like,
you know exactly why this happened.
Linear thing.
Yeah.
And so I never made excuses for him. I was like, all of the things that he is holding a grudge against Kuea for. Like, he's holding a grudge against this person that he supposedly loves. Now, it's one thing to be mad at someone you love, but to hold a grudge like that, like, that's weird.
What was the grudge?
That he knew all of Kuea's stuff that Kuea was hiding from him, and he was mad at him for not
sharing it.
Right. And that's why he, like, calls him the Annabelle and tells him he doesn't love him and all of these things that, like, kick off the story. But, like, bro, you're doing that too.
Yeah.
Like, all of like, I've loved you since day one. Why not tell him that? Like,
yeah. I will say the funny thing is, like, Lian is such a one-dimensional character. There's nothing to him except him wanting to be the best person for Kuea. Like, he doesn't have hobbies.
I disagree that he wants to be the best person for Kuea. I think he wants to be...
Well, he says it. He's like, I want to be successful so that they don't think I'm, like, marrying for money.
Right, that's what he says, but based on his actions, he wants to have ownership over Kuea. It, like, what it came off to me as is that, like, he didn't like the idea that, like, this aristocratic boy who would potentially have the power in the relationship. Right. He never wants Kuea to have power.
Oh yeah, he held on to that power so hard.
And that's what I have a problem with, because in a relationship, power should be a give and take. Like, sometimes one person has more power, sometimes another person has more power. If somebody tells you it's always 50-50 power, that's a damn dirty lie. But it's a flow of power. And Lian never let Kuea have power. The other problem that I have with their relationship is the hiiiiiia. Oh my god, it's worse than P. Dean. Worse than P. Dean.
I will say, having watched Between Us and gone back to Cutie Pie, I don't like the hiiiiiia in Between Us more.
Oh, I don't know.
Prince hiiiiiia was the worst.
I think because there's double hiiiiiia in this one. You get the hiiiiiia from Nunu and the hiiiiiia from Nat. It was just like, I wanted to just... Oh my god.
I mean, the irony that hiiiiiia in a different tone is asshole makes so much sense.
I literally wanted to stab my own ears if I had to hear one of them utter it one more time. Like, oh my god, worse than PD. P. Dean is adorable by comparison.
Yeah, I never had a problem with P. Dean.
I love it. Actually,
so
it's
funny.
very, like,
it's very cute. Oh, yeah. I just, Lian and Kuea, like, you guys, whatever. Kuea deserves so much better.
I agree. I do think Kuea deserves better.
You didn't watch the special episodes, did you?
Not yet.
I feel like you should.
Listen, I'm not gonna like Lian. Like, there's nothing he can do to redeem himself in the special episodes.
And I think now that I think about it, yes, Lian was trying to hold on to every ounce of power he possibly could, because honestly, by the time Kuea is an adult and, like, is in his own right, like, Lian is always going to be backseat. Always. Kuea is, like, more talented than he is. He's more successful. He's got that lineage. Like, he is always going to shine.
He's also successful without trying. We see a little bit of this with, like, the whole when Khondiao is like, hey, it's like, I saw your YouTube is monetized. Like, and all of a sudden we see that he's made 3 million baht.
Right. Kuea's like, my life is falling apart. I have nothing. I only have this house from my grandpa. And Diao's like, bro, you're like,
you got money.
You're a star.
Yeah.
You're independently wealthy and you don't even have to be.
He's independently wealthy and he doesn't even know it. The privilege.
What a mercy.
Also, imagine if, like, anyone actually made that kind of money off of YouTube as, like, a singular artist that uploads videos of themselves playing music. Imagine.
I want to know what the numbers would have to be of views. Like,
I mean, okay, so I'll give people a peek into, like, how much YouTube monetization is. For a video that has 100,000 views, right, you make roughly $60.
Yeah.
So, like, 3 million baht is what, like,
that's too much math.
It's like $300,000 or something like that. It's multiple hundreds, thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
This man is getting millions of views on his videos, according to this math. I mean, listen, I believe it.
Should like,
I believe
Nunu himself gets it,
yeah,
so, like,
maybe.
Yeah. Oh, so stinking funny. These two, that's all we gotta say.
Yeah.
I am so glad to be done with these characters. I cannot wait to see what Zia and Nunu do next. They have insane talent.
I want to watch this little Princey movie. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. The series.
Yeah.
And whatever their movie is. They have a movie coming out too.
Yes. Okay. So before this gets a million years long.
Let's start with Tutorium because
okay.
Tutorium's short.
Right.
Kuea and Sin, adorable, precious. I adore Kuea as a character because he's like, cute boy, let me kiss. And then Kuea's like, no, I have a fiance. And then he's like, cool. He's like, hey Sin, what's up?
Cute boy, I kiss. Right? Yes, 10 out of 10. No notes.
Want to see these two characters.
Yes, this series should have. Okay, might be blasphemy, but this series should have been Kuea Sin with like Zia Nunu as the side character. Sorry. But that's how I feel.
Okay, I can't wait for Middleman's Love.
I'm literally so excited. That was also one that I was like, and again, no one was more surprised than me that I was like, I will watch this and not even binge it. Like I am so here for Middleman's Love. And again, no one's more surprised than me that I'm like on board for all of this. But like, I love Tutorium. Tutorium are probably my favorite Dumundi boys.
Have you like really paid attention to Yim at all as a person?
I have watched all of the Tutorium stuff that's like on YouTube. I was gonna say like Tutorium.
I was gonna say because Yim is a weirdo.
Yeah,
like he's like perfect for you.
I really like Tutorium.
Yeah. They're amazing. Ugh. Yeah, Sin. There's nothing more to say. Like they were perfect.
I love so much Sin with his like his proverbs.
Yeah,
like that was one of my cutest favorite. Also, it brought me back to Ayutthaya. Shout out to like if you watched the like Let's Talk BL and Mossbank and Ayutthaya thing where we like went to the temples, and the footage is not in the vlog because like it didn't feel right to put actual like temple footage in our vlog. But Moss and Bank did like take us to temples. There's a little bit from the first temple, but not. I didn't put anything in from when like
making merit and stuff. Yeah.
So Bank legitimately like took us to like a temple and like taught us to make merit, and we like legitimately made merit. Like when we followed all the steps, it was very, very cool, like humbling experience.
Yeah.
None of that is in the vlog because it just didn't feel right. But during that, Bank is like teaching us how to do it and what to say and all that stuff, and that like sad too. It like immediately as soon as all of them are saying it, it's just like
so good.
Again, I was in Ayutthaya.
It's so good.
Mentally, I'm in Ayutthaya.
And the fun connection is that Lian's or Kuea's family, like their mansion, their like homestead is in Ayutthaya.
Yes.
Kuea and Sin are perfect. They're perfect in the special eps. You should watch the special eps for Kuea and Sin. They're really funny.
I did love their kiss in the club because you got both. You got a fall kiss and a real kiss. It was wonderful. It was everything you ever wanted.
Also, I love the end of that kiss because Sin is like going for more, and Kuea's like, calm down. No. And the friends are like,
we're in public.
The friends are like, you need to sit down now.
Yeah. I love them. Everything about their whole dynamic was perfect. I love how Sin got like jealous, like progressively more and more jealous. Oh god, everything.
The development of their relationship made sense. Like everything about Kuea and Sin was perfect.
It was so good. The show should have been about them.
Okay,
I'll die on this hill.
Let's first, hold on. Before we go any further and get into this MaxNat mess,
I have thoughts.
I died laughing because when I rewatched this, I totally forgot about this part. When you first find out that Lian and Kuea have not like become romantic, and this will be a great lead into Khondiao and hiiiiiia, is that Khondiao and Kuea are sitting there talking, and they're like, and Kuea's like, all I have is my corner of love, and it's a bunch of photoshopped photos of Lian and Kuea, and I was like, if this isn't Gad and Ayla, I don't know what is.
I would like to formally announce I have done zero photoshopping of me and Gad. Thank you. Partially because I have an actual photo of me and Gad.
That's true.
So listen, I'm not saying that's the only reason I haven't photoshopped.
It's not that she hasn't done photoshopping of her. She's done photoshopping of Gad.
Untrue.
Of within Element. You made a whole t-shirt.
Oh, right. I did make an Element t-shirt. That is true.
I know you haven't even made a God t-shirt. You made a Yin War t-shirt for us early on.
I know, because again, if you go back and listen to our BL bias episode, War is it? Yeah. War is the one. God is like a fun little distraction.
I'm sorry. I died laughing. I was like, I can't wait to talk about this in the series Sunday because I was like, oh my God, this is literally Ayla.
No, listen, I will say my phone background is a picture of me and God right now. And fully, I was like, if we ever, for some reason, on God's green earth get to interview them again.
God's green earth.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to change my phone background. What if I forget? I won't forget. I'll be like too like in my head. But like, yeah. Listen, I would like to formally announce I have done zero photoshopping with me and Gad. That I do not have a corner of love.
But she's thinking
about it. No. Listen,
her wedding photo gets taken down and she puts up her and God.
Listen,
if you get a picture with God next time we're in Thailand, just you and God, that's 1,000% being blown up and being put somewhere in this apartment.
First of all, I could never imagine me trying to. I had enough trouble being like, "Hey, Tiana, do you believe you took that picture with me?" Like, I literally like caught him as he was walking out the door. I was like, "Now's my last chance, my last and final chance. Let me shoot my shot."
Oh my God!
Could you imagine? I could just never physically do that. Like,
I have something to tell you after
oh,
this.
No. Oh, no.
Okay, the last thing before we get into MaxNat again is Poppy is perfect. Poppy is pristine sealer. Yes. Love Poppy.
Poppy. I have been obsessed with Poppy. Yeah. Okay, I want to say I'm day one Poppy.
What was the first thing we saw Poppy in?
Why are you?
The way that you just said that.
Yes. Okay. He was my favorite in Why Are You? And nobody remembers that he was in Why Are You. He was very cute.
I don't remember him in the brother in
yeah, that's
Lovely
true.
Writer.
He also was one of my favorite characters in Lovely Writer.
And
you didn't even remember he was in that. The brother in Lovely Writer is truly one of the best characters in that entire show, and it's Poppy. Also, Poppy in Love Mechanics, 10 out of 10. No notes. Everything that Poppy does, everything that Poppy exists, everything about Poppy. And all this did was make me love Poppy even more. Poppy, I would die for you.
That's true.
He's so good.
Poppy, come on the podcast.
Poppy, I love you. Poppy, please.
Okay, let's do it. Let's talk Khondiao and Yi.
Okay, let's talk.
I hate this storyline.
Oh, it's terrible.
I understand that it's a side story and that we're not supposed to really get anything from them. But they gave us the stupid parts.
Yeah.
I hate these characters.
I hate these characters too.
I loved MaxNat in Close Friends. I loved MaxNat in Why Destiny. But them playing these characters is the most awkward thing I think I just don't like Khondiao in relation to hiiiiiia because Khondiao in relation to Kuea, fine. He's cute, whatever. Khondiao
okay, I'm gonna hit pause, rewind all the way back to the beginning of this podcast where you said, and I quote, "You don't have to defend an actor for a character they play if they did a good job with that character."
It's true.
Here's what I think. Here's my professional opinion after having watched this.
Expert opinion.
Sure, whatever. I am absolutely not an expert nor a professional. Please don't listen to me. But I saw so much hate on MaxNat for this. And particularly Nat, but both of them.
The acting coach was like, if you have anything to say, it's my fault because I was the acting coach.
Right. So many people were like, their acting was bad. Their acting was bad. Their acting was bad. No, it wasn't. Their characters were bad. They did a good job playing what they were supposed to play. Khondiao was supposed to be awkward with hiiiiiia. He didn't know hiiiiiia. It's literally told to us, which by the way, in the stupidest storyline of all time, that like a dog bit him, and so now he has childhood amnesia. And so like this is why hiiiiiia has to like marry him, is because his dog bit him.
He's being like blackmailed.
The dumbest ass. But again, blackmailed because of a dog bite. And also now Khondiao has childhood amnesia. Anyways, what we know of this is that Khondiao does not know hiiiiiia and does not understand the context of this arrangement. He knows nothing about this man. Of course he's going to act that way. Yeah. Nat did a good job. Nat did a good ass job with this character. He did what he was supposed to. And you know what else? Max did a good job with the character. He did what he was supposed to.
Yeah.
The characters were bad. The acting was bad. I will never understand, after watching this, why people gave MaxNat so much shit for this. They played bad characters.
It's true.
Their acting of the characters was not bad. The characters were bad. The story was bad. Max and Nat were not bad.
It's true. Upon rewatch of MaxNat, I was like, oh, they're not bad actors. These characters and this situation is just awkward because it's not like does Khondiao's family have money?
No.
So maybe that's what it is. Khondiao's dad is blackmailing Kuea Yi because he has money. And that's why we're in this arranged marriage situation.
Right, because his dog bit him and now he has childhood amnesia. The dumbest ass story I've ever heard in my life.
I mean, in relation to Lian, Kuea Yi is an angel and a saint for like taking responsibility.
Sure, he took responsibility for what he did. He also has like very platonically been in this relationship with this boy this whole time, like out of duty, and then it kind of turns romantic. It turns romantic once Khondiao is ready for it to turn romantic, which I did appreciate.
Yes.
But these two characters, the awkwardness that we feel when we watch it is not because Max and Nat are awkward. It's because Khondiao and Yi are awkward, because Yi knows that he's hiding something from Khondiao, and Khondiao just doesn't know Yi. Like, imagine living with him, being in an arranged marriage with, like, I don't know, some older dude that you don't really know very well who kind of scares you. Yeah, like, how are you supposed to act?
That whole conversation about maybe Yi is going to eat the dog. You're like, where'd that come from?
Yeah, where did that come from? I mean, so...
And in that moment, I think
Kuea says it. I think it's like a joke. Kuea says it as a joke because, like, he's so scary, like he's so mean.
And I love the conversation that then Lian and Yi has, because he's like, "Oh, this has gotten bad because he thinks I'm gonna eat the dog."
Yeah, Yi is like, "You need to tell your boy to like get his shit together." Like, he's so mad. It's so funny.
I do love Yi and Lian's relationship. Like, I think they're sweet friends. I am curious. I pray and hope to all the BL gods that they develop whatever the side story is. What's the name of this? Yi and Khondiao's.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what their show's gonna be.
I don't remember either.
It's something.
I can see the trailer in my brain.
Hold on, we gotta look it up because this is gonna drive me crazy. I just hope that they develop that
Lian and Yi. I don't want to see Lian.
No. I hope that they develop Yi and Khondiao in a way that makes sense, and a way that's like, yeah.
I mean, here's like the nice
that
thing
storyline is absolutely ridiculous, and I don't know if I would watch it.
Honestly, it's the stupidest thing. But the nice thing about like those two is that Khondiao very much is like, oh, I think Yi is hot. Like, because like he's the one that brings up to Kuea where he's like, have you guys done it yet? Like, this is the funniest.
Which makes sense and leads into the name of the series. It's called Naughty Babe.
Right. Yes. Yes.
So
it's all coming back to me now.
So who's the naughty babe?
I mean, Khondiao, obviously. He's the one
that,
like, he's a little perv. He's the one that's always like, no, truly. He's like, to Kuea all the time. He's like, have you guys done it yet? Did you guys do it? You look different. Did you get some? Like, he very much, and the minute he himself gets some, he calls Kuea to be like, hey, I got some.
I'm excited. Okay, now that makes me excited because these are kind of the characters that they played in Why Destiny, which is why I keep yelling at you to watch Why Destiny.
I did watch their Why Destiny.
Okay. Because Max plays this tutor that's like tutoring this rich boy, Nat.
Yeah.
And Nat is killing it. He is flirting up a storm, and Max is like going through it, and it's the most fun to watch.
No, for the record, did end up watching all of Why Destiny. Okay. My problem with Why Destiny is I started watching it and then I was like, I absolutely cannot do this. Like 2 minutes into Tay's episode, I'm so sorry. No.
I mean, Chap Tay doesn't really work as the ship name anyways.
And Tay Chap? Tay Chap kind of works. That sounds kind of cute. Tay Chap? Chap. Well,
Anyways. Khondiao and Yi.
The story, absolutely stupid. The characters, super awkward. The weirdness we all felt watching it is because Max and Nat are good actors. Sorry, but they are. Listen,
It's true.
Say what you want, but like, okay, if you enjoyed Khondiao with Kuea, and then if you enjoyed hiiiiiia with Lian, you can see they're good actors. They did a good job in this show. And therefore, that weirdness you feel when they're together is because they are creating that weirdness with the characters, which is what it's supposed to be. Sorry, MaxNat are good actors. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. I feel like that's all that we can say about that storyline because there was nothing to that storyline.
There was nothing else to it.
Fun little Boon Prem cameo.
It was cute.
I wish they would do more cameos of ships in other shows.
I did for a minute get really hyped because I thought that maybe it was supposed to be Win Team because one of their names is Win. Right. And I was like, oh my God, is it Win Team? Are we getting a crossover? But then no, it wasn't.
It was Win Top.
Yeah.
It would be really fun.
I was super hyped.
Kind of like in Why Are You? We got Turn Type.
Right.
That would have been fun.
I was super hyped, but then that wasn't.
Shout out to Mundi for giving us fun little cameos in other shows.
Yeah.
I love that. Is that it?
That's it.
Lord have mercy.
That's the show.
I'm so glad that like the timing of this worked out perfectly because like I don't feel like you could have gotten here.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought I would be the one sitting on this podcast being like, no, that spice was really good.
I know.
Not me.
The tongue was excessive.
I do remember yelling ew at one point because one of the tongues, it was just too much. I was like,
the first tongue.
Yes.
He like licks his whole face.
Yes, because I was like, that as a human, if somebody did that to me, I don't think I would like the way that felt.
Yeah. No, I've totally dated a guy that he was a big tonguer and I was like, we're going to have to fix this. I fully was like, you got to pull back on the tongue.
Like, I don't like watching it. I was like, I don't think that felt nice.
I mean, if it's coming from Z,
even then,
he could lick my whole face and I'd be okay. There, you know the question I'm gonna ask?
No.
Is there any boy that you would let him lick your whole face and you'd be like, yeah, let's do this?
I don't think so.
I think so.
I think it's gross. No.
Even if God was like,
oh my God. Is this what we've come to? Every single time I'm like, I don't think I would like that sexually. You're gonna be like,
but God.
Cool.
1,000,000%. I'm gonna get a t-shirt that says but God.
Question mark.
Yes. I feel like that's the right way to end it.
Question mark.
Oh, this has been Let's Talk BL. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow all things Let's Talk BL at Let's Talk BL.